So this is one of those that it's not a specific angle that pulls from our reference table. These are ones where you're given one of the trig functions already, and you use that to find the other ones. Okay. So it says that the cosine of x is negative 2 over 3. X is in quadrant 2. And we're trying to find the sine of 2x and the tangent of 2x. Okay, so again, there's starting with the formula. The sine of 2x is equal to 2 times the sine of x times the cosine of x, which we have this guy, no 2, but we're missing this guy right here. So you can use formulas to find sine, right? The 1 minus cosine squared. We could try that. So the sine squared of x is going to equal 1 minus the cosine squared of x, 1 minus negative 2/3 squared, 1 minus, that's 4 over 9. Need a common denominator, so 9 over 9 minus 4 over 9 is 5 over 9. All right, so sine squared of x equals 5 over 9. If we square root both sides, then we've got that the sine of x equals the square root of 5 over the square root of 9, which is the square root of 5 over 3, plus or minus, though. We've got 2 of them. Okay, so we're going to take a step back and go, okay, how do we figure out which one it is? It tells you in the problem that x is in quadrant 2. So if I remember right, you know, quadrant 2, sign is positive. So sine of x equals positive square root of 5 over 3. Okay, now it's just multiplying. Got 2 over 1 times square root of 5 over 3 times negative 2 over 3. That's 2 times square root of 5 times 2 over, times negative 2 over 9. On top, that's going to be negative 4 square root of 5 all over 9. And that's it. That's that answer. Now let's go back and try this tangent of 2x. Tangent of 2x formula says 2 times the tangent of x over 1 minus the tangent of x. Just kidding, 1 minus tangent squared. So we need tangent. Let's check it out over here. Again, the tangent of x you can think of as the sine of x over cosine of x. If we're sticking with identities, that would be square root of 5 over 3 divided by negative 2 over 3. Square root of 5 over 3 times negative 3 over 2. Those 3's are going to cancel. We're going to end up with negative square root of 5 over 2. That's the tangent of x. So now we just have to plug everything in. So 2 times negative square root of 5 over 2 divided by 1 minus negative square root of 5 over 2 squared. Okay, this one's easy. Those 2's will cancel and it's left with negative square root of 5. 1 minus, now negative square root of 5 squared becomes a positive 5. And on the bottom, it's a 4. So negative square root of 5, we need a common denominator, right? So 4 over 4 here. So this will be divided by 4 minus 5, so negative 1 over 4. Okay, negative square root of 5 times, flip that over, negative 4 over 1, which is positive 4 square root of 5. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay, now I realize that I made a mistake in the previous problem on this one right here. In the middle, I didn't do the squared. Shame, shame. So I made a little mistake right here. It's supposed to be squared. So 2 times negative square root of 3, that's okay, divided by 1 minus negative square root of 3 squared. That makes a big difference. It changes the answer all over the place. So that's negative 2 square root of 3 over 1 minus, now this guy right here, negative square root of 3 squared is just going to turn into 3. Negative 2 square root of 3 over negative 2. Those cancel, and we just end up with square root of 3. So, oops. Okay, so now we get to move on to the half angle formula. Now they look nasty, but they're really not too bad. This whole plus or minus thing, though, that's where most of the mistakes get made. But you just have to remember it's based off of u divided by 2. So this says right here that I'm finding the sine of half starts with an H, half of some angle. Lord, help me. Half of some angle, which in this case is u. So how does that help? Well, look at these right here, 22.5. That's not an angle on our table over there, but if you think of this as being the sine of 45 divided by 2, which is the same thing as 22.5, now 45 comes from our table. We can find the values quite easily. So in this case, my theta is going to be 45. And then you just go to your formula. So sine of 45 over 2 equals plus or minus. So sine 45 over 2 plus or minus the square root of 1 minus the cosine of the angle over 2. I'm taking up way too much space. Okay, made it a little bit cleaner. So I'm going to plug it in. It's going to be plus or minus the square root of 1 minus the cosine of 45 degrees over 2. Okay, underneath here we've got 1 minus cosine of 45, which is root 2 over 2, divided by 2. Okay. Plus or minus is just going to carry along with us. Plus or minus, inside here we need a common denominator. We've got square root. Okay, sorry, trying to make more room. The common denominator here, so he's going to change to 2 over 2. So underneath now is 2 minus square root of 2 over their common denominator divided by 2 over 1. Right, plus or minus square root. Let's see, that's 2 minus square root of 2 over 2 times 1/2 is plus or minus square root of 2 minus square root of 2 all over 4. All right, now let's split that up into the top and decide whether it's plus or minus. Sorry, top and bottom. So again, plus or minus. On top, it's going to be the square root of 2 minus the square root of 2 minus square root of 2, and on bottom it's square root of 4, plus or minus 2, square root of 2 minus square root of 2 over 2. Now, we have to figure out what quadrant we're in. The quadrant always depends on what you need for your half angle. So what quadrant is 22.5 in? It's in quadrant 1. So we're going to choose quadrant 1. So we choose the positive. So our final answer up here is positive square root of 2 minus square root of 2 over 2. That is that answer right there. Phew, lots of radicals going on, one step at a time. Okay, let's try cosine of 22.5. Very, very similar to the last one. It's going to be plus or minus square root. There we go. I zoomed in so that I could have more room to write. Okay, so cosine of a half angle, cosine of u over 2. We're again using 45 equals plus or minus again square root of, now the difference here is that it's 1 plus cosine of u over 2, but that's literally the only difference. So I'm not going to go through all the math again, because you're just going to end up with this time the plus or minus, all the math will be the same except for that sign right there. Instead of a square root of 2 minus square root of 2, it's going to be plus, and then that's all over 2. Same exact work as above. The only thing is you have to change the minus to a plus. Now we are in quadrant 1 again, and in quadrant 1, cosine is positive. So your answer is square root of 2 plus square root of 2 all over 2. All right, now look at these tangent formulas. These are the best ones ever. So this is tangent. Cut off from your screen. 1 minus cosine over sine, or sine over 1 plus cosine. Best ones ever. All right, again, we're doing the tangent of 45 over 2, which means our u is 45. Okay, let's plug it in. Well, let's go with the top one. 1 minus the cosine of 45 over the sine of 45. Okay, cosine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. Sine of 45 is also square root of 2 over 2, so it's going to look like this. Right, you got common denominator, so this is going to become 2 over 2 instead of 1. So we've got inside here 2 minus square root of 2 over 2 divided by square root of 2 over 2. Okay. Okay. Let's see, then we flip that second one. So we're at 2 minus square root of 2 over 2 times 2 over root 2. Those cancel, and we're at 2 minus square root of 2 over square root of 2. Bleh. Now the next step is technically we should get that square root out at the bottom, but I'm going to accept this for an answer just so that we're not spending too much time on that. But you would multiply by square root of 2 on top and bottom, distribute on top, simplify, but that's the basic idea.